And so that's quite an intimate working relationship. It's quite a close working relationship, and people have to see enough of you to feel that way about you.
Yeah.
And they're not going to get that from the odd ad hoc post.
No, they're definitely not. Do you sometimes think that it crosses over a little bit into therapy with clients?
No. So it's really interesting because I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about the topic of mental health, and mental health awareness has become quite a big topic.
Yes.
And people are more open to talking about mental health and about well-being. For coaching, there's still a little bit of a shyness sometimes and a reticence. So often by the time I've worked with coaches over a period of time, they will share and talk to other people about their experience. But in the initial stages, there's still a little bit of a caution. And I think it comes from this idea that if you need coaching, that you're not good enough. And that's not the case. Coaching works best when people are ready to take action.
Yes.
Because that's what it's about. It's about giving that kind of extra nudge, that extra push to get people consistently taking the action to get the results that they want. And if you think from a sports perspective, you know, the best sports people in the world, the best sports teams in the world have coaches, and it's not anything to think of. And yet in the business owner world, I think there's still a little bit at times of people being cautious to talk about coaching and feeling that it's kind of a bit of an admission of failure. So
it's quite fascinating, isn't it? I love that phrase, what got you here won't get you there.
Yeah.
You know, and I think hopefully in the UK, more people will see the value of I know it's one of those things, Jacqui, once you invest in something like a coaching program, you can't really go back because you see how much it can push you forward. This is my experience anyway. So I'm in a 18-month coaching program now, a group program, and it's so valuable, and it's pushing me to really focus and make plans and have strategy around my business that if I wasn't in that program, I would probably just be still a bit disorganized, to be honest.
And it's, my experience is a lot of it is helping people to keep things simple and focused.
Yeah.
So when you're, you know, if you run your business from home and you're in your home office and you've got all these hats to wear of running your own business, of, you know, having to sort out marketing and HR and finance and different areas, it's very easy to feel like you've got to be busy and try and do everything. And I think what coaching does is creates that time and space for people to think and really get clear on the priorities, and then gives them that accountability to make sure that they actually do what they said they're going to do.
Yeah, I love that. It's kind of like the mastermind I run as well. You know, we check in, we meet every Monday online at 1:00. And, you know, I keep a goal sheet and accountability sheet so that when the ladies come this Monday, I will be checking, did they do what they said they were going to do last week? And let's push forward for next week. So I love all this stuff. I love the coaching and masterminds. It's so fascinating to me. Yeah.
It's magical. It really is. The difference that I see in clients from kind of the start of a program to the end. And often at the start, people will say, for example, that they want to work on their confidence. And by the end of it, we haven't had a conversation about confidence for the last 3 months, because actually that's done, that's dealt with. They're on to the next thing and then the next.
Brilliant.
So I often see that potential and know that direction and what's possible for people and believe in it more than they're able to for themselves initially. And yeah, it's just so rewarding and fulfilling to see that change over that period of time.
So what way does somebody work with you, Jacqui? Is it a series of sessions, or what way does it actually work in practice?
Yeah, so there's a couple of topics that I do cover as kind of separate one-off sessions that are quite discrete, but generally the work that I do is over a coaching program. Normally what that would look like is initially thinking about what change they want to make and why it matters to them. So that might be about their financial goals for their business. It might be about how they need to operate within their business. It can be a number of different things. And then we'll then move on to creating the plan. So what do they, now that they know the change that they want to make, how do they want to go about doing that? What's that fit for them? And then it's on to that kind of accountability piece and looking at the things that come up for them as they start to make those changes, because life will throw curveballs in. There will be things that you might not anticipate. So it's about then dealing with those. And like I say, often then it's them moving on to the next and almost revisiting that goal setting piece of thinking, okay, actually, I can now allow myself to dream about the things I really want to dream about and not just what I think is possible.
Oh, brilliant. And so an average client, do you have like a set number? Do they meet weekly or monthly, or what way does that work?
There's two options. So one is an intensive program over 12 weeks, and the other is that's more one a month, and that normally is over 6 to 7 months. So yeah, either a kind of 3 month, really boom, let's get after this, or a kind of monthly check-in for kind of 6 months.
That's brilliant. And so if someone signed up with you, do you say, right, it's going to be, so if say somebody signed up for the 12-week program, would you say, right, it's a set Tuesday at 10 o'clock that we will meet online?
Yes. Yeah. So we normally agree all of those at the start, and people can change them if they need to because life happens.
Yeah.
But it's about getting that commitment in the diary of we are going to make this happen, and getting those things planned in. So yes, it's normally the same time every week then.
Brilliant. And going back to how people initially make contact with you, do you get them? So if someone sends you a message on LinkedIn and says, I think I'd really like to work with you, Jacqui, do you then get them on the phone?
Yes. Yeah. So coaching is really important to establish that there is the right fit. And it's really important as well for me to understand that what they need is the right fit for the way that I work, because I won't be right for everybody. So it's normally kind of 20 minutes, half an hour. We'll talk a bit about their business, why they want to have coaching, why it's important to them to have coaching now. So it's about understanding, are they really in that place where they're going to get value from this? And then it's that chance for them to understand how I work, to reflect on the type of coach that they want to work with, to ask me any questions that they've got. And then, normally from that point, it's then a case of that they'll be in a position to kind of make the decision, and we'll move from there.
I bet you get most of them signed up. Yeah,
it's because they're inbound leads, because it's people who already feel that they know me. A big part of that conversation is for them to have the opportunity to sense check when they actually experience me in person. Does that fit? Am I the same person that I appear to be on social media? Do you hear the faith I have in you, Jacqui? To be fair, I'm from a sales background, and the one-off calls that I do tend to be around sales and pricing, because those are two quite discrete areas of business that I can kind of work with people and support people on separately. I would hope that that is something that I would be able to do well.
I just have this sense as I talk to you that I would say you close probably most of those calls. Jacqui, it's so fascinating, and I could talk to you all day, but we're not going to talk all day. I mean, the whole thing about pricing, that's a whole other podcast episode in itself. But it's been, before we go, I wanted to ask you actually about, you mentioned recommendations and referrals. So are those people who have worked with you who recommend you to others?
Sometimes it's people who've worked with me. Sometimes it's people who know me and would kind of make an introduction and say, do you know what? I know you're looking for coaching. I think Jacqui could be a really good fit. And I think, again, that's something that people underestimate the power of LinkedIn for. So there are people that I'm connected with and have, those supportive relationships with who refer other business to me, even though they've never used my services. So your audience is not always necessarily about just targeting people who you think are perfect customers. Actually, if there's people who are your kind of people who you get on with, then actually that can still build your business in a different way for you.
I love that on LinkedIn. So the other day I was somebody in Manchester, I think, was looking for somebody to run a LinkedIn workshop, and one of my connections tagged me and said, Louise Brogan is excellent at this. And I thought, oh, thank you so much. We've never met, we've never worked together, but I'm so happy that you're referring me for this.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that if people know what you do and they have faith and they've seen enough of you, then they will do that, which is brilliant.
Yeah, it is. It's such a good platform. We're flying the flag for LinkedIn today.
Absolutely.
We are. Okay, Jacqui, if any of my listeners would like to know more about you and find out about how you can help them, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, LinkedIn, obviously. So yeah, I'm Jacqui, Jacqui Jagger on LinkedIn. And then my website is beyondboundariescoaching.co.uk.
Brilliant. It's been really, really lovely talking to you today, Jacqui. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for inviting me, Louise. Thank you.
I think you could probably tell from that interview with Jacqui that I really, really enjoyed talking to her, and really I'm passionate about using LinkedIn, especially if you are working with clients and customers, whether it's in a group coaching or one-to-one way. So definitely go and check out Jacqui and connect with her on LinkedIn. As she said, even when you build your network on LinkedIn, it's not necessarily that you're looking to build up a client base. It's also building up a network around you of people who will refer you to other people who are looking for the service that you have. If you would like help with getting into the nitty-gritty of your tech, if you want to understand how to run webinars, how to get local speaking gigs, if you want to build your email list, then get in touch with me and I will help you with that focus. And if you're looking for more mindset coaching, get in touch with Jacqui. There are different people who have different skills who can help you to build your business online. Just before we go, I wanted to let you know that I have started a new Facebook group called the Social Beehive, which is for listeners of the podcast. So I'd love to see you in there, talk about all the different guests that we have on, the different topics that we have on the podcast. So please do come and join us in that community. It's facebook.com/groups/social beehive. And I look forward to chatting in there with you about the podcast. And thanks for listening. And one last thing before I go, if you could share this podcast episode with one person who you think would benefit from it, whether they are somebody who needs a coach or who has a coaching business, I think they would really get value from this episode. So if you could share it with one other person, I would be really appreciative of that. And I'll see you next week on the podcast.